At But Alyssa says AEW Grand Slam Australia ticket prices. So for a VIP All Elite, that is, Chris Connor, going to run you $1,200. For a VIP Dynamite, that's $1,000. For VIP Ringside, that's $650. For Premium Fan, it's $500. A Reserve, $315. $264, $193, $122 and a quarter and a little bit, $95. So, I mean, no prices for an AEW show right now should be more than $95. Maybe a little over 100 with the tax. What say you, Chris? Is that just outrageous?
Who's going to go to these events? I mean, if you're
WWE price themselves out, everyone wants to say. AEW, like, what do they think is going to happen here?
Once again, it's a guy who has no idea what he's doing, trying to go to a market, and it's going to be ugly. This is going to be another ugly sort of friggin', show where nobody shows up.
Sorry, I had to hit the Meltzer there. Oh man, do you think they even do 50K at this Australia show?
No, it takes a lot to do 50K. People think, it's. No, it's. I think it's going to do. I would be surprised if it does even 20,000.
Bad. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Mercedes Moné has responded to the mixed reactions to her AEW All-In match with Britt Baker. I've heard a lot of mixed reactions to my All-In match with Beretta. I had a really good time out there with her. I did sense some audience fatigue. It's only natural being third to last, as the crowd had already seen over 10 matches before ours. Is there anything I would have done differently? There is. Honestly, a lot. But I don't ever want to go too deep into what ifs about my matches or life for that matter. I'll just say that what I learned a lot from the match and can only grow by continuing to try new things. I don't know, man. It was sloppy and you had to carry Britt, just admit it. But at least she didn't just bury Britt. Some people think there's real heat there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. Maybe Britt had.
Were we expecting a great match from these two? You have Britt Baker, who hasn't wrestled in a long time.
I kind of thought it would be good. Yeah, I thought it would be good, but they apparently not.
But Mercedes is, once again, she's a small. I mean, she's about the size of Alicia Edwards. So when she tries to lift people, and this credit to Kevin Apollo for bringing this up, she doesn't do a good job. So she's taking on a bigger woman who hasn't wrestled. It's not like they've worked several programs. I mean, this is what happens when you are in a new company. You haven't wrestled or worked with a lot of these people. You're working on a very limited, amount of matches. And then it's like, this match was terrible. No crap. I mean, people forget when she was in WWE, she had wrestled these people 20, 30 times. So at the end, they knew how to work with each other in their sleep. And now this is what we're getting now when you get somebody who is overpaid, doesn't wrestle a lot, and has worked with people who she's never worked with.
I quote tweeted this and I was like, the refs suck so bad. They need to have a seminar or something. And a bunch of people got mad at me, tried to defend this. So look over this. Okay. Review this with me, folks. There's a rear naked choke. Roddy's foot goes on the bottom rope. The spot is the ref is looking at the choke and doesn't see the foot on the rope and calls the tap out, right? Standard. We've seen like this a million times. Watch what Aubrey Edwards does.
He's got his foot under the rope and Aubrey Edwards
steps instead of just standing up and calling it from where she is and signaling. That's why refs have hand signals, right? So instead of just like signaling from where she is to the timekeeper, pardon me, she literally steps over the guy's leg so that she can get on camera. I know that's what this is, but she steps over the dude's leg that she's not supposed to see, because if she's aware of that, then it's actually not a fall and it's a rope break and whatever, right? You guys understand this. We've been watching this. We understood this when we were kids, how this spot's supposed to work. Look at what she does. And they're going to Don Stevens me for this. Boo-hoo. I'll scrub it. She steps right over the leg that she's not supposed to see. So she sees it peripherally. And I just can't. You guys, are we like
The best guy is Tony Khan?
It's insane. I don't know if you guys are hearing those prices wrongs, but at the last Dynamite, Colt Cabana and Satnam Singh get in the ring, and we've seen it all now. We've seen Taco Bell commercials during Jack Perry vignettes. We've seen the lights go out, literally. We've seen everything. Here, Colt Cabana gets in the ring, and a fire alarm starts going off. And not because the match was fuego, but because, I don't know. People wanted to go the film. I'm so sorry for the noise. Everyone check your ears.
Fire alarm!
Has that ever happened? I know WWE's lit the roof on fire before, but like just a fire alarm, that shit hurt my ears too. Kevin Kelly claims AEW gave him a severance package, but took it back because he didn't sign some form. Do you know what that form was? A lifetime NDA. I guarantee it. It was some sort of NDA. And he was like, no, I'm not signing this weird. So they took their severance package back.
What? The best guy is Tony Khan.
Insane, man. No health care. The women don't get paid the same as the men unless you're Mercedes Moné. All these broken promises, dude. And look at this. Kevin Kelly. They took the poor man's severance package back. And he's taking them to court. And Dose is right. A bunch is going to come out about ROH and AEW in this whole court case thing that goes down eventually. And they took the severance package back. Like, that is pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. Chris Connor, what do you make of that?
It's as I said, this is a company that's not professional, that is run by a rich kid who this is his vanity project. So are we surprised? I mean, I'll tell you, it's AEW doing AEW things. At this point, I'd go, this is going to be just more of the same as it goes forward.
It's just, somebody said, he's morphed into Vince, George Capture. Man, he's Vince. He's Tony McCon. That's what he is now. And I don't know. That's pretty tough. If that's true, I'm sure it is. Post is pretty good with their news. No? Yeah, I don't know. Shout out Kevin Kelly.
We have our first fall.
So Dave Meltzer via Wrestling Observer News Radio says that AEW merch sales were huge in Europe. Noting that dollars per head for merchandise were even higher compared to last year's Wembley show. The merch sales were actually they were, huge for both Cardiff and Wembley. Easily, obviously, the second biggest merch night in the history of the company in Wembley. They actually did as far as dollars per head in merch. They were way up at Wembley. Yeah, because they have more people at this show than any other one, and I'm not diminishing that. But here's what the merch was. You got an Ospreay jersey, no wrestlers, no Danielson. There's nothing here that goes Danielson retirement. Nothing like that. All AEW, and then just Ospreay. And it's like, okay, so you sold 8 billion programs or whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to knock it, but damn, man, get your super. We looked at it on the All In stream. So you guys know, go back, watch the All In stream that Don Stevens tried to tear down. There's video of the merch stand and stuff. So not to knock it, but I'm curious. And I have people where I'm like, yo, at WWE, I want to see the merch. At MLW, I want to see the merch. At everywhere, I want to see the merch. Because I don't know, a little experiment I'm conducting, I guess. But yeah, these guys, and I know people go, well, they have their deals through Pro Wrestle Tees, but like, how's that good for the company? How's that even good for like the stars in the company, that are associated with AEW? That's the problem. Like, everyone, they just want people to believe in the 3 letters. It's not fan service, man. It's Tony service, and you got to serve fans in 2024, dog. Beating a dead horse with that one. But yeah, wrestlers own their own licensing. Someone said in the chat, yeah. But the thing is like, AEW, they can still work. Like, okay, AJ Styles owns AJ Styles, but WWE still makes AJ Styles shirts and merch. Okay, so that's all you do with all the wrestlers. You work out a licensing deal and you make all their merch. How the are you in Wembley and Sting did a run out, or Darby's in a coffin match and there isn't little Sting masks everywhere, where there's not like Darby Allin masks or some being sold? Like, how is there no MJF scarves? I say it all the time. Like, where's the gimmicks? You don't have a Tony Storm gimmick? Her whole character's a WWE gimmick, you know? It's like you don't have no merch for that. Like, there's nothing. Come on. And like, oh, they run it all through Pro Wrestle Tees themselves. Yeah, but you guys are leaving money on the table. And I know it's like, oh, it's better for the wrestlers, but no, because it's not like their own. And yes, they do make AEW licensed shirts. They all look like 3D. I mean, pardon me, AI mock-up. It's like Okada in front of a car, Nick Wayne's mom in front of a car. You know, it's like a big, black, and jacked. It's like they're asking ChatGPT for shirt slogans, dude. Like, that's how it literally feels. Like they're making AI pictures into t-shirt designs. And I don't know. I could bury it all day, but it's a missed opportunity for everyone involved, man. Like, even TNA, when Nick Nemeth came in, they were like, here's the TNA Nick Nemeth t-shirt. And you were like, oh, that actually looks pretty fire, you know? And obviously he has his Pro Wrestle Tees. And obviously TNA, I'm sure they'd love to have all of their own. Like, everyone wants the WWE licensing and all of that deal. Like, everybody wants to be able to do what they do. And it's hard to do that. But Tony Khan can do that because he's just willing to waste his own money. So why not run smaller buildings and invest in doing that and then start generating money? And then you can really, all the free agents. Then you don't have to accuse WWE of inflating. You can, I don't know. To me, it's just all ass backwards, and I rant about it all the time. Disappoints me, man. And like, look at the merch WWE's pumping out for their superstars. It's amazing. A lot of it is really good, man. It's quality. So, yeah, they got to step that up big time. Yeah, good for them for doing great merch sales. I'm super happy, but it's the most people they've ever had in a building, Dave, next to the other All In. So Dave's going, oh, the two biggest sold shows sold the most merch. Well, no, like, that's pretty much a given. Now, that doesn't mean that, oh, well, this show that had 50,000 did less than this show that had 30,000. Doesn't mean that can't happen. But and I guarantee if you go to all of WWE's biggest houses, their merch sales are the biggest too, because that's just a given. So, and like, not to make it about WWE, if you go to all of UFC's biggest houses, I'm sure their merch sales align with those events as well. Do you know what I'm saying, Chris Connor? Does that make sense? Or am I talking out my ass?
That makes perfect sense. But
yeah,
who's in charge right now of WWE, of AEW's merchandise? It's what?
It was the Young Bucks, one of the Young Bucks' wives, and then they handed it over to someone else, and it hasn't improved. Some people even say it's gotten worse. So who knows?
Who's in charge of WWE's merchandising? Somebody who I don't know off the top of my head, but it's not.
Yeah, some random no name with 30 followers on Twitter who's like an expert at slinging merch. You know,
it's somebody who has a history of merchandising, sales. Somebody who knows the product. I mean, as I said, it's AEW is run like it's a rich boy's play toy, and he gets friends of his in certain jobs. He's not serious about hiring professionals. He's not serious about getting the right people for this. And WWE, they've made it a science for years. Like, their people know exactly what's going on, exactly how to sell stuff, and they have experience in this. Like,
right. Or how about this too? Like, when Tony Khan, sorry, this just popped into my head, Chris. Tony Khan, like, everybody gets their own belt. Like, there's all these new belt designs, new belt. But what WWE does is they just keep their belt normal. And then when like Roman's reign comes to an end, or Gunther goes on that crazy IC title, then they design a special title, give it to him, and then they sell it to the fans and as like a commemorative. It's not like they're not collecting these belts to be like, oh, I have all these different belts. It's not like everyone gets their own little participation trophy. That's how it feels, man. And it's just so like, but even the belts, like, you can't sell belts and they're not marketable when everyone on the show is a belt, dude. Like, how are you going to sell 1 million different belts? Like, 5 different ones, and then people pick their favorite. Like growing up, I was a big European champion mark. I don't know why. I just love the design of the belt and everything. Sorry, what were you saying?
All right, so here's the VP, head of Consumer Product Development Global Buying for WWE, which is they're in charge of home decor, toys, fashion accessories, seasonal merchandise, all that. A woman's name is June Jack, and before she's been in WWE for 11 years. Before that, she worked for EB Brands, which is a toy company. Before that, she worked at the Christmas Place for a couple of years. Before that, she was working for Catalog Marketing Graphics. Before that, she worked for KB Toys. I mean, this is somebody who's had an experience. All right, how do I sell product? How do I market merchandise? How do I reach children and teens and people who buy stuff? Not somebody who, my wrestler husband is the VP of a company, so hey, I'm going to be put in charge of merchandise. I have no experience, but hey.
Yeah, man. Why is he like that? So here is John Morrison landing on his head, and I hope he's okay. This is on Ring of Honor.
Johnny Team. Oh my goodness.
You guys see that?
Johnny Team. Oh my goodness. Whoa.
That's crazy, man. You guys see that? Yikers. I hope he's okay. Ricochet. He made his debut. He got took into the limit by Kyle Fletcher, which is, I guess, what people do now. That's like initiation in AEW. You got to get taken to the limit by Garcia or Fletcher. And, he like barely scraped by a win after having a lackluster debut in that random gauntlet battle royal. And he comments on if it was a hard decision making the jump from WWE to AEW. And Ricochet says, it was definitely a big decision, but honestly, yes and no. Obviously, yes, it was hard because it's a place I've been for the last 6 years. I've met. I got some really good connections, some friends, and some good memories there. I don't know what happened back there, but anyways. So it was definitely hard, but at the same time, no, it wasn't, because I'm a person who has always changed. And I just saw what AEW was doing. I saw the guys and girls over there and what they were doing, and it just seems so fun. You want to be a part of it. As hard of a decision as it was, I knew it was the right decision. So, like, I wonder what about it seems fun to him, like just the fact, and I'm not trying to shun it, but I do understand it, like freedom, you get to do what you want, wrestle less, but you get to, when you do a match, you get to just do whatever the you want, get a lot more money than WWE is probably going to give you. And like that's probably what it is, right? Like, no? Do you agree?
It's a little bit of that. Look, he was. You could tell from Ricochet that he was. This was as best as he was going to go. I mean, he was not a guy they viewed as an Intercontinental champion, as a world champion. You know, I think he looked at, and I'm not even sure if they wanted to re-sign him for big money. I think they looked and went, okay, this is your offer. This is what we're going to sign you for. He looked at AEW. Tony's offering huge money for anybody with WWE, so he jumped and look. As our friend War Dog Apollo says, if you could take the idiot's money while you can, take the idiot's money while you can.
And he says, honestly, the biggest reason is that I've been doing this for a long time, 21 years this year. And for me, the time when I was having the most fun in my career was when I was traveling the world with those crazy lunatics in the back there. It's literally the time when I was having the most fun. Despite that, what people may think, it's not always been bad for Ricochet. I've had fun my entire career, no matter where I went. I've always had fun. Okay, we get it. You want to have fun, dude. You want to have fun with Tony Khan and the fun friends. So, okay, I get it now. It makes sense. He says that's not going to change. But when I was having the most fun was when I was hanging out with these guys and traveling the world with these guys. So obviously there's a bunch of wrestlers in AEW that are his friends from back in the day. And traveling the world with these guys and having matches with these guys and creating the art that I really like to make for, I feel like, the Ricochet fans out there who's been, I guess, just missing the opportunity to shine. But for me, it's to have fun again and to create that art again. So he just really wants to like go off, unleash, possible, go viral for Flip with Ospreay, who walked out and confronted him on the last Dynamite. And that's what he wants to do. And good on him. If he can get paid the money, it's not going to help AEW. It's not going to help in any way. It's not going to really, I don't know what it'll do for them. But it helps his bank account. And if you're a Ricochet fan who wants to see him do some Prince Puma again, yeah, maybe you'll get to see something along those lines. So good on him, I guess. But yeah, he just wants to go have fun. So I don't know. Girls just want to have fun. Oh, girls. You know what I mean?
Well, he's no. You have Carmelo Hayes, so you have a younger, a better talker than Ricochet now on the roster. So look, he was redundant. I mean, he 5-10 years ago he was a hot thing. Now we've seen everything that he can do. Yeah, he does. He's Mike Bailey. He's a lot like Mike Bailey for WWE. You're not a great talker, can work, and after a while that gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, again, got to get managers, man. Like back in the day, dude, you'd see certain guys, they'd be with like 3-4 guys on an event, just mouthing for them. Or maybe people think that's hokey. Who knows?